Hello, this is Mr. Red Fox. Let's get into it. I've been thinking about making this video for a while, but I finally said, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. So, the big thing that I wanted to talk about in this video is, well, several things, but the first thing is basically the negative response to people to GTA 5 being ported over to 9th gen consoles with no substantive changes to the gameplay or new content aside from shit that's been on PC for a while, I think. So I mean, basically, let's dive into it. So the thing that bothers me about this is, like I've been saying this for years and years and years and years and years and years and years. I was saying GTA, like, don't support GTA Online because if you like GTA, what's going to happen if you support GTA Online is, like, all that gameplay is that the content that should be going to the single player is just going to be focused onto online. And I mean, I said this in numerous posts numerous chat sections about GTA 5 and all that type of stuff. Like, where's the content for the single player? And everyone called me, like, I literally would get downvoted to all hell the damn. But my prediction came true. Basically, like, all the content, all of the really cool shit that people wanted for GTA 5 for the single player came to the online, and none of it went to the single player game. And I would take it a step further. I would say that the single player in GTA Online is even more disappointing than GTA 4's single player, because with GTA 4 single player, you still had 2 expansions that expanded the game and added new content. You didn't like Nico Bellic. Well, you could play as the dude from Lost of the Damned or the dude from The Ballad of Gay Tony. So you had, like, recourse, with the game. You get none of that here in this game. And here's the thing. The counter argument to that to a lot of people is, well, Skyrim's been re-released multiple times. You're correct. Skyrim has been re-released multiple times, but there's a stark difference, and here's the stark difference. Skyrim has a huge and robust single-player, has a huge and robust mod support. GTA has modding support, but, like, Rockstar has been almost antagonistic with their modding community for GTA 5. And some people are like, well, why would they do that? Why would they be antagonistic? For those of you who are naive enough to think that Rockstar gives a fuck about you, the reason that Rockstar is antagonistic and really doesn't like the modding community is because the modding community primarily deals with the single player. People who are playing GTA 5 single player ain't playing GTA Online. And that's what Rockstar wants. They want people playing GTA 5 online. That's their cash cow. And that's what they want to push. It's the reason why they added Red Dead Online, like Red Dead Online mode to Red Dead 2. Even though, like, no one really, like, Red Dead 2's online isn't, like, I would say it's maybe 30% of what the online is for GTA Online. But the difference is that GTA Online makes sense for there to be an online component. Red Dead, I'm like, why? Like, they would have done better doing single player DLC for that game. But Rockstar doesn't want to do that. They want to push online. That's their big thing. We want to push online because, like, if you do a single player DLC, you sell it once. With online, even if the online itself is free, you're always going to have some sucker paying out money for extra content, for shark cards, um, for shit like that. So for Rockstar, business wise, it makes more sense to put your money towards something that you know you're going to get money out of it, versus something that they may or may not get something out of it. But that's Rockstar for you, okay? It's a business. It's cynical and it's very business oriented. But that's just what's going on. So you might ask yourself, well, what does this mean for the consumers? It means that you're going to get GTA 5 ported to PS5, Xbox Series X, and you're not going to get any real new content coming to the single player. Okay, and I predict that even though this happens, you're not going to get any new content coming to the you might get some new content coming to online, but even then, that's not going to be commiserate or anything. And they're going to continue to attack the modding community, or at least discourage modding for GTA 5, like they've been doing. But that's my own supposition. So with that being said, I'll move on to the next topic after the cut. So, I've recently been playing Tales of Arise. It came out last week, and I'm about 10, 15 hours into the game. So, I have a few issues with the title. It's still pretty good. I'm enjoying it, but I have a few issues. The first issue I have with Tales of Arise is the enemy. Like, this game has been in development allegedly for like 4 or 5 years. It does not feel like it. Some of the developer shortcuts that were done in order to get this game out make the game feel like it was done, it was finished early. And then they just kind of started working on those DLC packs. I'll tell you what I mean by this. You get a lot of enemy clones in this game. And I don't mean like in the fire land, you have a wolf that is fire elemented and occasionally will do a fire attack. And then in the ice land, you have a slightly different color, a blue wolf that does ice attacks. I mean, literally, the enemies are functionally the same with no attack differences, with slight palette swaps. Now, that would have been fine during the 8-bit, 16-bit era. Hell, even during the 5th gen would have been okay. But now, I'm just like, this is just kind of like, y'all cutting corners? Why? I don't know, but, it is what it is. Another issue that I have with the game is the day-night cycle, which looks cool, but serves no purpose. Like, you don't find certain people out at night, or certain enemies out at night, or certain events that only happen at night. There is functionally no difference between running around during the day or running around at night. Literally, like other Tales games, previous games of the series, you would have stronger enemies appear at night. Certain enemies only appeared at night. So if you wanted to create your bestiary or get certain rare drops, you had to come out at night. That's kind of why would you have a day-night cycle and not utilize it to its fullest potential? Just have it there. But that's in this game. Another issue with this title is there isn't a lot of, I already said there isn't a lot of enemy variety, but aside from there not being a lot of enemy variety, the content is a little on the, the combat. The combat is a little on the, how can I put this? The combat controls are kind of shit. Now you can remap them, but off the bat they're kind of odd. Like jump is B, which is kind of weird. Attack is the left is the right bumper. It's weird. It's really fucking weird. Game just kind of like, okay, that's just kind of weird. You're ruining it for me. But I mean, aside from that, the Tales game, I'm enjoying the game. It is a Tales game. I would say my biggest criticism and the fourth flaw with the game, aside from combat not being as polished as I would like, is the controls being weird. It's just, for a game, they're like, okay, we're going brand new. It's new everything. Is that the game really doesn't go far enough in terms of adding new shit. Kind of weird, but that's my own personal opinion. We can move on to the next topic after the cut. So, the final topic before we get to the wrap up is just me waxing, not so poetically, prosaically, if you will, about the intellectual dishonesty that I see in a lot of the gaming community. Here's what I'm talking about, okay? People will complain about issues with a company they don't like doing something. Then when a company they do like does it, it's okay. Or they won't talk about it. Like they'll change the criterion by which they judge an action because the person or company doing the action is one that they have fondness for versus one that they don't have fondness for. Now, here's the thing. Confronting your own bias. Now, a lot of people have biases, okay? A lot of people are biased. That is the nature of humanity, is that we all have biases. It's just, that's humanity. We have biases. But, if you're trying to be a logical and rational person, you have to confront your biases and look at them, try to balance those out by trying to be less biased and applying your set of tools, your rational set of tools, equally to arguments and stances. So, for example, as a Nintendo gamer, I can't say that Sony upcharging for next-gen for next-gen games that are functionally, code-wise, the same as they were last gen, aside from, a minor graphical update, okay? I can't legitimately say that's fucked up. And then when Nintendo has done the same thing with their games that have been ported over from the Wii U to the Switch, and ignore that, I can't. Okay? If I did that, that would be intellectually dishonest, an irrational argument. So, I can't judge PSN like raising the price of a service that is not very dependable. PSN. I can't judge Sony for that. And then also not call out Nintendo or Microsoft for their fuck-ups in the online community as well, on their online as well. Like you have to if you have a tool set for rationalization, for logical reasoning, and discerning reality, you can't pick and choose when to use your tools and how to use your tools. Like if you have a wrench, you have to use your wrench as a fucking wrench every time you have something that needs a wrench. You can't say, well, this is a little bit more delicate, so I can't use the wrench. Let me use my hands to tighten this. It's like, it doesn't work that way. You have to use this tool set equally and as you can amongst each argument and stance. So, there's none of these companies are perfect. All of them all of them have issues where it's like, well, this is kind of fucked up. I'm not cool with that. I don't like this. They need to do better. Like, all of them have issues. Alright? All of them have things where it's like, this could be better. This could be a lot better. So people need to understand that shit. And I wish that, you know, like, especially on the internet, people would do better with these types of things. But that's my own personal opinion. I'm going to quit it here and wrap things up with the final segment. So with that being said, that's the end of this video. I mean, not the end of the video. It's the end of this segment. The end of the video will be in the next segment. So the conclusion is pretty simple. For all these segments, GTA 5 I don't think is going to do that well. I think that it's going to flop harder than a fat kid doing a belly flop into a Olympic-size filled swimming pool. I also think that Tales of Arise is a good game. It is not what Bandai Namco promised it would be, or at least the director hyped it up. Oh, it's a brand new Tales game, and it's gonna, you know, it's gonna do all this stuff. The game was billed as a AAA game. It really is a AA game. Like, there's a lot of things going on where I'm like, hey, they're kind of cheaping out on some of this shit. But that's just me. Alright? That's just me. They did a lot of things where I'm like, man, they could have done better with this. But, you know, it is what it is. So with that being said, and finally, you know, like, it's not fair in terms of argumentation and stuff. It's not fair for, or equitable for me to basically change the rubric by which I judge things just because I like or dislike the company doing it. Not fair, not cool, shouldn't do it. You should judge things equally, regardless of whether or not you have a bias for or against it. And I know that's rich coming from me, considering that there's certain companies I fucking hate, but I admit I hate it. Okay? I admit my bias, and then I try to be fair. Doesn't mean I'm always gonna succeed, but I try. So with that being said, that's the end of this video. Remember, rate, comment, share, subscribe. If you would like to get in touch with the channel, you can reach me at mrredfoxbsbusters@gmail.com, or you can @ me on Twitter at mrredfox91, or there's a link to the Discord in the description. So with that being said, that's the video. Rate, comment, share, subscribe. We have a podcast every Wednesday and Saturday, 7:30 p.m. to 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There is some good news coming to the channel. I'm in the process of opening up the podcast to be on other platforms as well, aside from just YouTube. So that's going to be kind of fun. So with that being said, that's in the podcast. Peace. Not podcast. Into the video. Peace, and have a good day.